Welcome, my friends, to the next project. A quick intro into our project of sanding, and more sanding, and then maybe a little bit of color. We are working on a vintage 1971, roughly, Fender MusicMaster short scale bass, and we're dipping it in color. It's taken a while. There's a lot of sanding. Let's start sanding and the next project. For those of you who enjoy the torturous task of sanding, this is the episode for you. We've got plenty of sanding, but don't run off. There's a few other pretty neat things going on as well, and we are going to be spraying a little bit of color, so stick around for that. Don't run off. Maybe get a cup of coffee and a donut, but don't run off. Here I am sanding the first round of sealer that we sprayed in the previous video with a homemade long sanding board. Auto body shops have been using long flat boards for decades, ever, eons, long time. This one is homemade. It's a chunk of MDF, 1/4 inch thick, 2 3/4 wide, probably a foot long or so, and just use some sticky back sandpaper, put on the back of it, and this gives me a long flat surface to sand and get the body equally smooth and flat. There were quite a few ripples from using my thickness sander, and I have, I think, 80 grit paper. Maybe it's 60 grit paper on that. It's pretty coarse stuff. I think it's 60 grit. So it left a few scars that the sanding sealer did fill. Now, don't worry, this stuff is not as thick as it looks, but it did take a lot of sanding because I was using the wrong sanding paper. Getting the hanger arm or the spray arm back in place and taping it up. And the reason I tape it up instead of just spraying over it, I really don't want that buildup of paint on that metal arm, because eventually some of that paint's going to chip off. So this way I can just peel tape off, throw it away, keep the arm kind of clean. Don't have to worry about flecks of paint coming off. Back to the task at hand. Spraying a couple more rounds of this Simtech Prestech 2850 sanding sealer. This is the stuff the Texas Toast had been using. I'm not sure what they're doing now. They might be using a UV cure stuff now. I don't know. I did learn about this stuff from watching their videos a few years ago. Finally jumped into it probably, 2 years ago, started using it. It's kind of expensive stuff. Mainly shipping is killing me. To get it here, it costs about as much to ship it as to buy the product, so that kind of sucks. One more coat, well, you get the idea. Spray it on, let it dry, and then drive home, do something else for a week, have a day job. And now we're back to more wonderful sanding. Using that longboard again, which works really well. It did a great job of knocking down the high spots and getting everything nice and even. I used 180, 220, 320, 400 grit papers to do my level sanding at this point. Oh, geez. More sanding. Got to do all the sides. Well, not the inside. We don't sand the inside. Sand all the outside sides. And the sandpaper does load up a little bit, as you can see, but gentle persuasion, give it a few pats. Bad sandpaper, bad sandpaper. Get it cleaned up, keep going, keep sanding. We need a break from that, don't we? Yeah. This is some StuMac conductive shielding paint from, October of 2020. This is, 2025. I'm surprised this stuff is still going. I haven't used it at all. I need to do more work. One thing that happens with this stuff is as it sets, all the pigment and the good conductive goodness that's in it settles to the bottom of the can and creates a big lump. They'll be covered in a thin, watery black liquid, so you have to stir it up. So usually a couple days before I plan on using this stuff, I start stirring it. I'll stir it good in the morning, I'll stir it in the evening, the next day I'll stir it, and the next day I'll stir it, and then finally I'll get around to using it. Have to get that thick conductive stuff suspended in the liquid again. So Every now and then, even if you don't plan on using it, you should probably stir it up. You've got to be kidding me. More sanding? Oh, and we're using the elbow wrecker. Great. I did put an interface pad, which is a soft foam pad with that hook and loop stuff on it, on the sander. Also some 600 grit mesh sandpaper. And what this does, it's a final sanding before we go into paint, but that interface pad is a really soft pad, so you can sand up and over your edges without burning through. It helps smooth out any little ridges and nastiness that you might have, so it's kind of neat. I hadn't used the interface pad before until recently. I did sand and paint a vehicle. That was the first time I used the interface pad, so typically I just use like a DA, a dual action sander, or longboards of various sorts on big things. And no, I'm old school. I'm not up on all this cool, neat stuff that's been around for a long time. Okay, we're all done sanding. Now we're cleaning up. A little spritz of water, just getting the dust off as best we can. Getting ready for another round of cleaning coming up, but we're putting on some fresh tape to protect the areas we don't want paint or clear coat on, like the neck pocket. You really should try not to get paint or clear coat in the neck pocket, because what can happen if you paint the neck pocket and you get the neck stuck in there and clamp it all down with your screws, there's a possibility that the neck will stick to the painted surface of the neck pocket. I'm not saying it will always happen, but if you're using lacquer, especially if you have a lacquered neck and a lacquered body and you have paint in the neck pocket, you may have the neck glued into the neck pocket if you're using lacquer. I'm using urethane products, but it still can happen. They can still stick. Probably not as well as lacquer would, but anyway, off topic a bit. Tape up, things like that. And we're about ready for the sit and spin. Oh no, we're not. There's more taping. Sorry. Taping off the shielding paint area, and the reason for this is I don't want to have color coat covering the shielding paint. I mean, I could, but I don't really want it. I want it to remain the black shielding paint color, just for show. That way, if anybody looks, they'll say, ooh, shielding paint. Look at this. Ooh, it's time to clean. All right, ooh, isopropyl alcohol, 99.9%. I had read why that's 99.9%. I think as soon as you open the container, it absorbs atmospheric moisture, so it's never going to be 100% pure. Something like that. I'm probably wrong. Isopropyl alcohol, clean it up, going over the whole thing twice. And after this, we're going to be moving on to using a tack rag, but I really want to take my time to get as many fingerprints or dust or dirt or whatever might be on it away from the surface. Get it as clean as I can, because there's always some bug is going to come flying along and crash into it. And the tack rag, and we are ready for color. Dusting the whole thing off with just the air coming out of the spray gun first. And here I'm spraying a very thin coat of base coat black. And this is really just so I have a uniform color base to start putting my top coat final color on. I could have sprayed a white or a silver or gold or whatever, but the color I'm going to be spraying is pretty bright and punchy by itself. So I was thinking if I put a darker base coat under it, I'm not going to be accentuating the brightness of the top coat color any extra. I'm hopefully going to tame it down just a little bit. So here we have our first very thin base color on. Going to let that dry. Going to walk away, stare at the birds and the squirrels for a while, and then come back. Give it a second coat, and my temperature is way up. It's really hot today, so everything is drying too fast almost, but we're getting her done. In a second, light coat. Looks pretty rough, but this stuff dries out. It gets really flat fast, actually, as it dries. As soon as this is dry, we'll be ready for color. I told you, there's some color. Color in the cup. Hitting the edges quick, and this is again a first coat of color over that with 2 coats of thin black base, so we got a very thin coat of color going on here. Not rushing. I'm not trying to get coverage in 1 coat. I'm putting it on thin, letting the paint do the work, walk away, let it dry. Not gonna rush it at all. It's interesting, I was putting the video together. I think I have like a total of 8 minutes of actual painting time, probably spread out over about an hour and a half. Here we're taking a quick look at the NT Tools Mini 888. This is a spray gun I'm using here. It's a high volume, low pressure HVLP. And I'm used to using LVLPs, which are low volume, low pressure spray guns. And honestly, I kind of like those a little bit better. I think maybe it's just because I've been using them over the last few years. I thought I'd try this one out as a test because one of my older guns is developing some issues. So I picked this gun up dirt cheap off of AliExpress, and it works well, but it does use a lot of air. And it seems like there's more overspray, more lost material than I was getting when I'm using an LVLP spray gun. So I may put this one on the shelf or use it for odd projects. I'm really not sure. The jury is still out. Letting things dry, coming back to it for another coat, and oops, I forgot to put on my protective nitrile gloves. So I did have one hand that had this metallic color sprayed all over my fingertips, so I had to clean myself up with that. Oh, I never learn. Never learn. Changing the direction of spraying here, and also going to be putting a drop coat on, which a drop coat is basically another light coat following a full coat, but the light coat is a greater distance from the surface, and it's just to help orient the metallic flake a little better, so you don't have any blotchy spots, hopefully. This is the second time I've used this Sherwin-Williams Surefire Pro paint, and I'm really impressed. It goes on good. Just about ready for clear, but before I do that, I have to grab my little fish hook extraction forceps and peel away the protective tape that is in the pickup cavity and also in the control cavity. Now, this tape was covering up the shielding paint, but as we'll see, there are 2 little spots of green tape still down in the holes. One in the control cavity, one in the pickup cavity, and that is so when I do spray clear in here, I still have a place to make contact with the shielding paint. It isn't sealed by clear. So I'll run a jumper wire between the 2 cavities to make sure I have continuity between everything. So we're using the NT Tools Mini 888 spray gun again with a cup full, well, cup half, third full, about a third full of clear coat, mixed up, ready to go. The paint gun's doing pretty good. I did have to mess around with the settings a bit. It's not going on and flowing out quite as nicely as I'm used to. And I'm not a professional painter, so even I'm saying, something's not quite right, but some of it's user error or lack of experience with this gun. So I might give it another try here and there. Might learn a new trick or 2 or secrets or whatever. The color, it's clear. The color is clear. We're getting the clear on. It's looking pretty good. It's a little foggy, getting hard to see, but that's all right. The fans are running. They're pulling everything into those filters. So I'm only killing part of the environment. But it's looking good. It's shiny. Man, that color pops. Whew. Time to paste the floor. And we're coming right back to it to shoot another coat. Yep, kind of more of the same. But this is kind of actual speed, actually. And as I was doing the video, putting it together, I noticed that I had roughly just a little over 8 minutes of actual spray time. You know, that's spread out over what, 1.5 to 2 hours. Very little of it is actually putting paint or clear on the guitar. Most of it's waiting and mixing up paint and pacing the floor and cleaning out the spray gun. But very little of it is actual application time. This is the fun part, and it was over in 8 minutes. Man. Man, that color really does pop. When this is all done and dried out, I'm going to take it to the owner before I do any more work on it and have him take a look at it, make sure it's what he's expecting, what he's looking for. I think he'll be happy. I hope he'll be happy. So it's a pretty neat color. Depending on the light, you know, when it's out in bright light, or if this is bright, what are these, LED lights on it? The pinkish purple really comes through. But what I noticed later on, when I took this home, before I took it to the owner, I carried it into my house, which, you know, has different lighting, and it picked up a little bit more of a copper, pinkish purple copper tone, which was really pretty cool, and it darkened up. So I'm thinking when he's out gigging with this guitar, you know, it's going to be in a bar or something, sometimes at night, sometimes during the day. Lighting is going to really play a big part on what this guitar looks like. The metallic fleck that's in this thing is got some character. Oh well. Anyway, it's going good. I'm getting all the clear on it, all the clear it will take. And then we're gonna just walk away from it and let it flow out and go do something else. Probably have a sandwich, maybe a beer. That sounds good. I should go have a beer. All right, I'll see you later. Here I go. Clear coat is flowing out pretty nice, and as it sets up, it'll get even smoother. And here we are a few days later. I have just taken it to the owner to have him look at it. He's thrilled with it, which is good. Makes me feel good. When the owner's happy, I'm happy. This thing, it's shiny, and I haven't even scuffed and polished it yet. This is just how it flowed out of the gun. I'm going to take a quick recap looking back here. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me through this video. I know the pace is a little different than I normally do, so let me know if you like it or you don't like it. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. Give it a thumbs up to let YouTube know you like this kind of content. Ring the bell for future notifications. If you can, share this video or any of my videos in other platforms or forums or wherever. That'd be great. Until next time, take care of yourself and those around you. Bye.